Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the University College Bowl here in Dublin, where Matchday 2 is well underway in the 2017 Rugby World Cup. With initial lessons learned from Matchday 1 on Wednesday, today is very much a day to press on, to right the wrongs, as teams jostle for position in the seedings matches at the latter end of the tournament. The semi-final spots are the most revered, of course, and that is minimum requirement of the multitude of home supporters who are swamping the stands here today. Ireland forced themselves over the finishing line against Australia on Wednesday. Today, a very different type of opposition, a different type of challenge. It's Asian champions Japan up as Pool C moves into round 2. The Japanese girls flagged this match as one they were especially looking forward to, playing their hosts in their host back garden. For Ireland, well, they have to cope with the pressure of expectation, and it's expectation that demands victory today, and preferably a sizable victory if they're to keep up with France at the top of Pool C. Big support for both teams, an eagerly awaited contest. Two contrasting styles within the two camps. It'll be fascinating to see how it plays out through the course of the next hour and a half. First up, of course, we will set for the formalities. Japan's national anthem, Kimi ga Yo, and then Ireland's call.
So, ladies and gentlemen, would you please be upstanding as we play the national anthem of Japan? So, ladies and gentlemen, please remain upstanding as we play Ireland's call.
So the formalities are done. Let's just take a look at the teams. Ireland, 4 changes in the pack, an entire new second row. Ciara Griffin's elevation forcing a rejig in the breakaways. Nicole Cronin in on debut at 9 to feed that backline, a backline that ends with Mairead Coyne at 15. Just 2 changes for Japan, but the sizable absence of number 8 Bogadrau Mainadave will be absolutely immense. And Tomita's suspension brings 19-year-old Rio Karagi into midfield. A busy afternoon in prospect for that back line. And there is the bench with Louise Galvin waiting to make her 15s debut, but all of those ladies waiting to make an impact on this game at some point.
1 minute, yeah? 1 minute to go, okay?
Referee is from England, Ian Tempest, along with Alhambra Nieves and Rose Lebreche. David Grassoff in the truck as the TMO. There's Nicole Cronin, former England captain Sue Day alongside me. She is going to be absolutely critical today.
What a game for her today. Winning your first cap in 15s in a game like this in front of a home crowd in a home World Cup. She can really take Japan on, play them at their own game. She's so jinky around the breakdown, real footwork, hoping to set the Ireland back line off. They didn't really get going in the last game, did they?
There's Tatsumi, part of that Japanese backline that really didn't have time to function in their opening game. Maybe, just maybe, they will be able to find a platform. Hannah Tyrrell out back on the wings, having had to get used to the full back role.
Keep them on side for me for the restart, okay?
Simplistically,
Captain.
Ireland beat Australia by a ball toppling from its tee on Wednesday. They have to do more today. Victory, yes, of course, that is essential, but it's got to be victory with points. Be interesting to see how they set themselves up, particularly in attack Ireland. It was a little obvious from the Australian defence on Wednesday. Claire Malloy in the 8 shirt this evening, an unfamiliar role for the doctor from Bristol, but leading from the front, as will that lady, Lindsay Peake.
Police tackle!
What a star she is in so many facets of so many different sports. Now Stapleton looking for the advance down the right flank, but no way through there, and Shimizu tries to work her way back through the heavy traffic.
Just hold, stop!
Yamamoto in similar style, but she finds her right winger Hirano.
Play on.
Can't keep the ball in the contact, so it's Ashley Baxter. Quick to feast on those scraps. Ireland keeping close to the ball, trying to set up some power plays around the fringe. And there is one of the biggest powers that Ireland possess, Lindsay Peake. Cronin and Stapleton looking to settle themselves in early. Annie Miller.
Back, play on.
Releases Mairead Coyne. Good chance for the Galway girl to really show what she's about in open space early in this game, and settling themselves down early is going to be critical for the home side. We know about the pressure they're under. They want to perform in front of friends and family, fans alike. Kira Griffin, who made such an impact in that Australia game. Stapleton again feeding the forwards in midfield. This time it's Kira Cooney. Miller again looking to be the conduit to open up that right flank. Coyne having to scrabble a couple of metres or so. Good take from Kira O'Connor. 3 Kiras in the Irish pack this evening. If you want a forward, call for Kira. A lovely kick through from Stapleton, the chase from Fitzhenry. Oh, a struggle for Shimizu now. Can Ireland make something of this early opportunity?
Use it!
Japan doing well to just cement that breakdown. The charge down. Hirano forced back.
Japan waits.
This time
Japan
a little
waits.
more space, but it's
Thank you.
advantage Ireland after a frenetic opening.
No quick line out, Rose, now.
Goodness me, it's hard to catch our breath after all of that. Ireland trying so hard to
Let's just set it up
recycle
right
the
first
ball,
line.
keep things moving, and that is
Japan, please.
really taking the pace of this game up a notch. The physicality of the Irish, the size of the Irish, the size
Play on.
differential
No
between
problem.
these two teams, really significant.
First line out for Cleena Maloney. Has good darts, as they put it, but on this occasion, not quite hitting the board.
You have the ball. It's a turnover. Release Japan.
Turnover ball, great work from Kira Griffin. Taken on by O'Connor. Here's Griffin again. Talk about impact players off the sub. 4 minutes off the bench in that game against Australia. Scored a try, and then in the course of the rest of the game, 15
Release, tackle!
carries. Kerry Farmer
Ball's
really
available.
making
Play
a
the ball.
difference
Ball's
to her
available.
team's cause in a very short space of time. Fitzhenry finding no way through, but they look again on the inside. Sophie Spence, another girl who made a difference from the bench with that vital try. Stapleton
Advantage.
can't find the
Cross
target
forward,
in Lindsay
knock on.
Peat.
Not very happy with that, was she? The knock on again. Ireland, we saw it in the earlier game. England against Italy. England getting very flat because they're so desperate to get into the game. Ireland, for me, doing exactly the same thing there. Just snatching at the ball, rushing at the game. So important in these big games to take your time, to settle, to do the simple things well.
And being a
Crouch!
former Irish basketball international, surprising handling from Lindsay Peat, but sure to have
Set!
a big say in the outcome of this game, both in the loose and of course now in the set piece. Still learning about the intricacies of front. They've only been playing 3 years, for goodness sake. Such
Ireland,
an important
keep going,
part
keep going.
of this Irish side. Was an important part of the Japanese side. Mo Tsukui,
Backwards, play on,
just
play on.
17
Backwards,
years of
Green.
age. One of two 17-year-olds in this tournament, and showed early on in the game against France that she has got something about her. Now, has this Japanese backline got something about it? As Tsutsumi sets
Stop!
it back.
Six! Stop!
Tsukui. Coin. Oh.
Knock on.
Not a clean take, an advantage Japan.
Japan didn't get much ball against France, obviously, with the size of the scoreline, 72-14, but we do know they're organised. There's the knock-on from Coyne. The referee spotted it well. Japan really well organised, though. When they do get the ball, they'll move it into the open spaces, and then they use their kicking game cleverly to get in behind teams.
After the
Tsukui
set,
was
stability,
there
please.
with
The ball's not coming in otherwise, okay?
the box kick, and Ireland
We'll wait for it.
relatively untested
Time on,
at
scrum,
fullback,
knock on.
relatively inexperienced with Coyne in at fullback, so Japan will be looking to test that.
Crouch!
Now, two very different techniques you suspect within this engagement. Ireland
Set!
with the bulkier, heavier forwards, but the technical prowess of the Japanese pack will no doubt provide possession as it does there. A lovely little run from Tatsumi, but the ball comes loose and it's Miller who picks up.
Carry back in.
Stapleton sees the vast spaces behind that red and white line. Good chase from Coyne. Shimizu doesn't waste any time on trying to play back, and the moment's gone for Japan.
Excellent kick from Stapleton, wasn't it there? That's the error from Japan, just trying to throw the ball out of contact when it wasn't on. Ali Miller clears up what on earth she was doing there. She's been all over the place so far in this game, but the intelligent kick from Stapleton, brilliantly placed.
Well, the line out not brilliant for Ireland. They're going to have to make sure that settles in and secures itself.
Behind the ball, bind on!
In this game. Only 8 minutes gone, of course, early days, but set piece is going to be critical. Miller takes soundly under pressure from Hirano. Japan working hard at the breakdown.
Last drive forward.
Going to get the foot in, but there we've already seen
Green regather possession, last drive forward there for me.
Japan are going to work really hard to contest the breakdown. We mentioned, and will keep mentioning, no doubt, Matetongo Bogodrao Mainadave's absence, and the big Fijian number 8 is huge in every sense of the word. Her absence is going to mean maybe a slight change of tactics from Japan.
Yeah, they certainly can't rely, can they, on that ball carrying ability. What we do know about Japan is that they work incredibly hard already. Only 34% of possession, and so they have constantly to work so hard in defence, but they do that, they organise so well.
Well, as I say that, there you see it. If you had any doubts that Japan were going to be able to compete at the set piece, there was the example.
And that's big trouble for Ireland. So far we've seen Ireland's scrummage not functioning, we've seen the line out not functioning, we've seen them lose ball at the breakdown to a much smaller Japan team. Ireland need to get in together and really talk this through, work out what's going wrong and put it right at the moment.
One receiver, one out!
And the Irish scrum was a problem in that Australia game.
They
came back, fair dues to them, but it doesn't show particularly well in this game against Japan as Yuki Sue sets up possession through Kurogi. Pass is not quite accurate enough, and Ireland flooding through onto Mayu Shimizu. Setback.
Use it!
There for Takui. Having to do the dog to dig that one out though. Slow ball. Yamamoto waiting to step up, but the referee's whistle beats her to it.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
Use it, didn't play the ball, turnover.
From Ireland, they could see that Japan hadn't committed to the breakdown, so decided to send numbers in to counter. Very good decision.
Well, Ireland have lost 2 lineouts and lost 1 scrum. There you see it, the harsh realities of the opening 10 minutes of this game.
Crouch!
They have to work out how to make sure they get secure possession from these set pieces. And again, that Japanese pack providing problems. This time Malloy's working it away. Cronin releases Miller. Alison Miller with 1 to beat. Cutting back in. Now Ireland with attacking opportunity inside the Japanese 22. Spence. Losing it in the contact, and the moment is gone. Great work though from Alison Miller.
Have you got interference?
Ireland's left winger, who will be forever remembered for scoring that try against New Zealand 3 years ago.
She certainly will, and Nicole Cronin just manages to get the offload away, putting Alison Miller into space. Such a balanced runner, isn't she? The Japanese defence equal to it there, as they've been equal to everything Ireland have thrown at them so far.
Bind! Set! Okay.
Yamamoto into that midfield. Good hit coming in from Katie Fitzhenry. Closing the door in the face of the Japanese attack.
Stop!
Forcing the kick.
Onside, all on.
There was hands in touch, I think, on that one. So it should be, I think, a Japanese line-out.
You thought Japan were playing with fire there. The missed passes right in front of the Irish defence, but they did very well to secure the ball and create a good position to kick from.
Right, stand corrected. been given to Ireland. I thought there was fingertips on that as they came through, but it's going to be clean to Maloney with the line out. Maloney injured in the Six Nations, of course. Leah Lyons started all those games, so a real chance for Maloney to establish her position through the opening encounters in this World Cup. Miller again off her wing. How many times have we seen the number 11 out in the midfield or on the right-hand side? That passing from Ireland not secure enough.
It's knock-on advantage.
Yamamoto
Advantage is over.
trying to pull the red coin out of position.
Play on, play
the
on.
kick fortuitously working for the fullback. An unused sub, of course, in that Australia game. Stapleton throwing wide to Pete. Again, the forwards trying to make the headway up the midfield, but Japan's staunch defence showing well in this opening 14 minutes.
Yes, all good.
And the kick is just going to allow Japan to get their attack into some sort of activity. Shimizu, the fullback, working hard to get the ball back, but illegally so. Now, of course, no Neve Briggs for Ireland. So whereas before it would be the fullback stepping up to slot this from 40 metres, not really an option for this Irish team.
No, Nora Stapleton, the designated kicker, but I doubt she's going to want to go for the post here. It leaves them more of an option, taking the line out option. Of course, for that they need the line out to be functioning. The last one went to plan.
Stapleton's kicking from hand has been a lot better in this opening part of the match than it was in that Australia game, and it's important for her to settle in to the way that Ireland want to work.
Look at that. 34 tackles made by Japan versus Ireland at 19. Just shows the amount of possession.
9 green.
Ireland
10
have had.
The Irish line out works. Griffin takes possession. O'Connor.
Too slow. Ball transferred, accidental obstruction. Scrum.
The binding not correct
Scrum,
on the
Japan ball.
driving maul, and
Ball
Ian
transferred
Tempest
clearly before
calling
the contact
that
takes
straight
place.
away. He was
Not
talking to
immediately
the
used.
players.
Scrum turnover.
He was. Sometimes as players, you're just not quite tuning into what he's saying far too slow. The transfer there makes an obstruction. Ball to Japan. I'm going to be so frustrated with themselves, aren't they?
Quarter of an hour gone and no score on the board.
Set! Wait, guys, wait!
Great shot of what goes on in the cold face of those scrums. Width on the Japanese ball. Nagata. Tsutsumi with nowhere to operate, but does well to present the ball. Great work from Stapleton, using her full height there.
Not now, Green, not now, Green!
Always going to tower over Moi Tsukui, it has to be said. One of the shortest, smallest players in this tournament. There she is. You can see Japan going through their processes. No sense of panic. They just go back, go again.
Forwards always.
Not necessarily by numbers, but very technically astute. There's Hannah Tyrrell now. First chance we've got to see her running around. Such a dynamic runner. Scored a try and the match-winning conversion in one of the warm-up trial games in Japan. Against Japan, I should say, in June.
Okay. Option, lost forward to touch, scrum or line.
Another unforced error from Ireland. I don't think the referee called it, but the pass from Sophie Spence was forward first of all, and then the ball, because it's too far in front of Alison Miller, gets lost forward into touch.
Time off.
And you have to give Japan a huge amount of credit for the way they're competing at the scrummage, but you do have to say at line out, it's Ireland that are making the problems for themselves, really, isn't it? Not being organised enough.
Yeah, there's certainly plenty for the players to be thinking about.
Speak English, you okay?
And no doubt Tom Tierney as well, there he is,
They must
just
be
below us.
Or behind the back foot.
The frown says it all, I think. The scoreboard is the indicator.
Indeed, it's just not quite clicking for Ireland, just making it too hard for themselves, not creating themselves clean ball to play off. And Japan, when they are getting possession, moving it into the open spaces, aren't they? You can see there's a real set game plan. Move it wide, get the box kick in, try and put it in behind Ireland. And at the moment, with the possession they've got, it's working for them.
8, please.
Yeah, you can see from those stats that Ireland will be frustrated not to have anything on the scoreboard right now.
Set!
Of course, the only winners from match day 1 who didn't get try bonus point. And in the bigger scheme of things, well, how will that play out? Yamamoto with a little offload to Hirano. Oh, big hit from Mairead Coyne. Sit down, madam, says the Ireland fullback. But Japan keep pressing. Tatsumi.
Reset!
Well, Ireland getting relief from the referee's whistle. But what an attack from Japan. Suddenly it all knits together.
It was a first phase move off scrummage, wasn't it? One that they've been practicing on the training park.
Intervention for a high tackle. Okay, David Grassoff, I can see the screen, please play away.
Ian Tempest just asking the TMO David Grassoff to take a look at that contact, I think. There was a disparity in heights, which was
just coming.
Part of that picture, I'm suggesting.
Yeah, it certainly looked close.
Your thoughts, Uday?
The contact there, that's shoulder to head, isn't it? I thought that's got to be a high tackle. We'll see how the referee interprets it, but it seems to me that the shoulder area is hitting the head of the Japanese player.
To wrap in that.
Let's have a listen.
Yes.
And he obviously just rides up.
Correct.
I'm thinking penalty only.
Agreed.
Happy, guys? Yeah, penalty only. Okay, I'm going, but Dave, just give me a mark for it, please, just outside 10.
Penalty
Give me
going
a penalty,
to
high
Japan.
tackle. Here's 15.
The technique of Mairead Coyne just being exposed there, not bending the body, not getting the contact in the right sort of area, but good officiating, I would suggest, from the referee there.
Yeah, she did very well in terms of positioning for the tackle to be there to make it a tool, but as you say,
back 10 please, back 10.
To
penalty,
get
high
shoulder
tackle.
Lower.
Not quite sure the tackle was in that sort of area. I thought it was a bit further down.
Back 10.
There we go.
Penalty's here. Thanks, David.
Keep moving, keep moving.
Okay.
Looks like an advert.
Scrum. Okay, scrum.
Well, there's an interesting call. Penalty in the middle of the pitch, not going for post, not going for line, taking the scrum, shows how confident. There's that first phase move, really fooled the Irish defence, didn't it?
Well, a sign of the confidence that Japan have got from this first quarter in the set piece, opting for the scrum,
crouch,
splitting their backs, 4 to the left and 2 to the right.
Set!
Providing their forwards can provide the possession from this put-in. Swings to the left, Yamamoto gets the call from Kurogi. All the way through there for Suzuki, so the ball back into the mix for the captain Saito. Quick presentation. This is where all this training that they've been going through in Wakayama. They were in camp there.
Dominant tackle, 3 clearly off the ceiling. Up.
Yeah, that time off their feet, but you're right, the accuracy of the Japanese passing, they really zip that ball, don't they? The passing technique, very, very good, which means that they can move the ball really quickly across the park, and generally the passing is very, very accurate.
Nora Stapleton just avoiding our commentary position with that boot, but we see how Japan have been working their way through.
How many? 5. 5.
Rather alarmingly, some of the numbers beginning to fall off their backs. Commentator's nightmare is going to come to fruition at some point through the next hour of this game. Malloy takes smoothly in the middle of that line out.
Once 9, static.
Cronin to Stapleton into that midfield for Fitzhenry. Beg pardon, that was Naofu. There's Ashley Baxter. Cronin trying to keep the pace, keep the rhythm of Ireland's attack up.
Ball's available.
Not allowing Japan to get back into their defensive mode. The kick from Stapleton falls into the mitts of Shimizu.
Wait. Advantage. High.
There's Chicano, high shot.
Just high. Just above the shoulder line. Penalty only. Green 1.
Yeah, clearly a high shot, the referee. Quick to communicate, just a penalty, but clearly a high tackle.
Okay.
Well, both fly halves trying to get us in the commentary position, but you haven't got us yet.
And in a team with the height differential between these two, you've got to be. Ireland need to be very, very careful with the tackle technique to keep those tackles low. That's Ashley Baxter.
Baxter described as the Sarah Goss of Ireland Sevens, and that's praise indeed. And the conversion from wing to flank, interesting call being discussed by all and sundry in Irish rugby.
A huge call, isn't it, for a player who's played most of their rugby in the backs and out wide on the wing, particularly to almost relearn the game, to come in on the back row. A really big ask. You're playing international rugby. It's tough. You need to be playing it instinctively.
How many?
There's no time to stop and think, what should I be doing here? So really got to learn a position quickly so you can just
5, let's go, Japan!
Instinctively, immediately.
Ireland, hold!
Precise line-out work. Minamura setting the focus for her forwards. Before Tsukui releases the backs, Yamamoto into the open side, Suzuki. Again, you notice the quick presentation that allows the flow of the attack to shift position. Good defiant defence from Malloy. The ball just keeps moving up and down this Japanese line. Changing the option is Kurogi. The mistake from Coyne.
Yeah, we always thought Japan would test Mireille Coyne, didn't we? Because she's so inexperienced back there at 15. Japan moving it really well back and forth across the pitch, and that's difficult as a fullback, constantly changing your position. That was a relatively easy one in the breadbasket, but you start to think as a 15, right, what have I got to do next? Have I got a kick? Is there a player on me? And in that millisecond you lose concentration, that's when the ball goes to ground.
These first two games were always going to be an audition for Niamh Briggs' shirt. Hannah Tyrrell stepped out for her first fullback experience against Australia. That was a tough audition. Mireille Coyne, who had a disappointing Six Nations in many ways, knows she needs to step up to prove to Tom Tierney that she is ready for that challenge. Now she's in defensive mode as Ireland slip it on, but the alignment is just wrong for Tatsumi. Just for a brief second there, it was opportunity knocks.
The Irish crowd has their hearts in their mouths, didn't they? What Japan are doing so well is getting into the outside, out the corner of the Irish defence. Ireland are defending with one winger back, so they're managing to fix the corner, the 13, the Irish 13 in defence, and get outside there.
Scrum.
Because the speed and the accuracy of their pass is so good, it's really challenging this Irish defence.
You can see those match stats beginning to change as Japan pushed themselves into this game. A credit there to Coyne, because she got up very quickly out of the line to put pressure on the ball carrier on her opposite number, and that's what made the difference.
First one of the game.
Exactly, you've got to gamble in those moments. There's no point hedging your bets thinking, shall I hold off because I may need to cover the wide player. At that point, you've just got to give it everything. Get up out the line, get in the face of the player with the ball, and that's exactly what she did very, very well.
Crouch!
Quarter of an hour to go until half time, and still the scoreboard operator has not got out of his comfy chair.
And the Irish crowd haven't got out of their comfy seats.
Look at this from the Japanese scrum. Wowee! Japan are making their mark on this tournament, and they're making their mark on the hosts. Kurogi.
Advantage, not 10 minutes.
Got the advantage as well, should they need it.
Rose, is that you talking to me?
Efficient, effective.
She was
Is it going to produce points now? The little slip through from Kurogi. Maybe that wasn't the right call, but they knew they had the advantage.
That was certainly the kick of someone that knew there was a penalty to come back for, wasn't it? A real gamble, throwing possession away in that place. But what a decision in the first place to take the quick tap when there's a kick with a penalty on offer.
Okay, offside, under 10.
Well, here's the option, kick or scrum. Ha! That tells you everything, and having seen the last scrum, you can understand why.
You can understand why. It's a gamble, isn't it? I think I might take the 3 points, the safe 3 points on offer to get on the board, to get ahead in this match. That said, if they can make this count, if they can control the ball at the back of this scrimmage.
Take a look at this. This is not about muscle, this is about technique.
All about technique, because the size differential between these teams is really significant.
The smallest team in this competition, the youngest team as well. 2 years younger than the next France, and 6 years younger than this Ireland outfit. Now, can they make this count? Takano holding the ball in, and it's a penalty try! Penalty try for Japan. We've waited 27 minutes for a score, and it's gone to the cherry and whites. What a score in this game.
What phenomenal scrummaging from this Japanese team. You would never, on form, never have expected Japan to be taking it to Ireland in this way at scrum time. Brilliant technique, brilliant patience, brilliant control at the base of the scrum from Takano. And referee Ian Tempest gives the penalty try. Game on. The Irish crowd is pretty quiet now, Simon.
The UCD Bowl is stunned, apart from those in cherry and whites right now. Lindsay, Pete and her pack know that they have got to change things.
3 green,
7 points, of course, for a penalty try now, no conversion needed, and already changes in the front row. Because that is Eilish Egan in place of Ciara O'Connor, and the alarm bells ringing in the Irish coaching camp.
I was about to say Ireland have got a lot of experience on the bench in the front row, particularly in the form of Eilish Egan. No surprise to see her coming on to try and steady the ship.
No, behind!
We've seen some big upsets, and we're a long way from full-time whistle. Of course we are.
Sorry?
Cause for concern, big time, in the minds of Irish fans, of Irish players and the Irish coaches. Things have to change.
Yeah, it's really important for Ireland that they don't panic here. That's just one try in one rugby match at this World Cup. Yes, they wouldn't have expected Japan to go ahead in that way, but there's a long time left in this game, and they just need to relax and trust their practice, trust the process, trust what they've been training for.
Too much way through Ireland. No, at the back. Pre-engage. Too much way through them all.
Pre-engagement call against the Irish. Look at that substitution before the half-hour mark. Ciara O'Connor, really known as such a solid scrummager, getting her first start this afternoon. But already.
We haven't had the problem all game. Do not cross the middle line.
Replaced
Okay?
by the experience of Egan, and that's not to put the weight of all the problems on the shoulders of the tight head in any way, shape or form, but you just have to look at the dynamic of those changes.
Crouch!
A scrummage is about all 8 players in the pack, so absolutely it's not just about O'Connor, but
Set.
as a coach, you think you've got to try something.
Half an hour gone, and it's Japan with the wind in their sails.
You had the ball.
Turnover, great turnover from Cronin. The little scrum half doing well to pickpocket that Japanese breakdown. Stapleton up to Neopu. Fitzhenry trying to make some headway. But Japan happy to set out their stall inside enemy territory. Stapleton. They'll need the leaders like Stapleton, the experienced heads, to really work out answers to these problems. Get Ireland back on the scoreboard and into the game. Maloney.
Ball's available to be played. Green knee, slowing that down. Just hold 5, hold 7.
Not sure whether Erika Hirano coped with that. I think she did, according to the officials. There's a break on though. Claire Malloy having to play with one boot on and one boot off.
Use it!
As Japan trying to manipulate the Irish defence on that far side. Now they come back in. Pierogi feeding those forwards once again. Look how quickly they get through. Again, Coyne can't take cleanly. This time she recovers though. Oh, Stapleton making the mistake. Well, it's a bit of an epidemic right now. Unforced errors really
Alan, time off, please.
stifling Ireland's ambition.
A little bit of tension, isn't it? They're worried. There's a long time left in this game, but they know they're not performing as they should, and then you start to tense up a little bit, and that's when the errors like that one go in again. She just took her eye off the ball because she's thinking about the next option to take.
Thank you. Right, where's 8?
There you are,
Okay.
8 handling errors
Alan,
from
time on, please.
Ireland,
Scrum,
really showing the
knock on.
tension, and only 2 from Japan, which really underlines the point we were making, that the quality, the accuracy of their passing has been outstanding so far in this game, so no wonder they're putting Ireland under pressure.
Bind! Set!
Ireland getting a bit of a shove on there, but Japan's backs still able to work it out. Hirano out to Shimizu.
Step. Please keep.
Again, Pierogi, something of a try scorer herself, scored a couple of tries in each leg of the Asian Championships against Hong Kong. Really has shown a very level head out in midfield. There she is again, just 19 years of age, a teenager. Good tackling coming in from Ali Miller.
Use it!
Seto, the Japanese captain, sets it back once again.
Use it!
Big hit from Sophie Spence on Yuki Sui, but the ball still for Japan as Kurogi slides one through. Good anticipation from Mairead Coyne, and good leg drive as well.
Definite foul play, so I'm stopping the game. Okay.
Egan going
Foul
through.
play, high tackle by Green. David, need position on the pitch.
Call for high tackle, I
Okay.
think, from Sophie Spence.
Yeah.
High tackle, okay, penalty only. What's going to mark?
Yeah, it's been called in to the referee from his assistant. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it was.
Okay, so towards Japan's try line,
Here
yeah?
it comes. Yeah, Sophie Spence just ends up the arm around the neck.
I'm finding them
Call
off
the
for you, Dave.
seatbelt
Am I on the
tackle,
ball?
but it doesn't disguise the fact that it is illegal, and everybody knows now
So it's a high
that
tackle.
tackling technique has to be absolutely spot on.
thank
When
you.
you have a disparity in heights like there was there, the taller girls really
Five
have to
high.
bend their legs and make sure they make the right contact in the right areas.
Exactly that.
Guys, where's the captain, please? Skipper.
I think Claire
Captain.
Malloy is going to just get a word in her ear
3
about
high tackles now,
Yeah.
okay? Just needs to change behaviour.
Yeah, the referee has to say something to the captain. The captain has to say something to her team. There's the third high hit.
Stay
Just
true, yeah?
remind the team, just good tackle
Perfect.
technique will get you out of this problem.
Again, the Japanese line-out produces quality ball. Again, it's into the midfield. Again, the alarm bells are ringing in the Irish defence as Japan begin to cut different lines, different angles. Shimizu getting through the tackle. The forwards coming short this time. The drums are beating for Japan. Oh, the bells tolling for Ireland. Out the width is there for Nagata. Again,
Use
good
it.
presentation. This time Ireland with the time to get their line reset. Concentration now from the Irish girls as the ball is swept out to that left flank. Saito feet out to Tsutsumi. Good tackling coming in, determined, defiant defence from the home side into the final 5 minutes of the first half. Japan looking for their second score.
Hands behind the line, hands!
The bigger
Hands behind
frames of the
back feet.
Irish girls holding out at the moment, but you can see how low
Come off.
Japan are getting. That leg drive, so difficult to stop.
Release!
Forwards voracious in their
Advantage
appetite
offside.
now. The call goes against Ireland.
5 offside.
It's not going to stop this Japanese attack though right now. Swinging it out, Yamamoto with a little dab over the top. Who's first to react? I think it's
Dave, time
Nagata.
off.
Collision there between Nagata
Dave,
and
try yes or
Miller.
no, please. If not, I'm going back for an offside by 5.
Try yes or no is the call to David Grassoff.
Yes, please.
Wow.
Funnily enough, you'd think with a pack, Irish with a much bigger pack, that would be that to their advantage, 2-3 metres out. But actually, because Japan have
Ian.
such technique and because they're so low to the ground, it's very hard to defend.
Clear knock on for
Yeah.
me by Reddy, and
Yeah, I've got
you're
that, Dave.
playing
So,
advantage.
No try scored
no
there, so
advantage,
they will
penalty,
go
5
back for that
offside.
earlier call.
no try, offside, penalty.
So, from a Japan standpoint, with
try.
4 minutes left of the first half, do you take the points from the tee, or do you just benefit from the prowess of your pack?
They've got to go for
Offside,
a scrummage,
number 5.
haven't they? Here, I mean, the scrum has changed since Ireland made that change in the front row, hasn't it? It's been much more even, but nevertheless, if you've scored one penalty try from a scrummage already, you have to go for that call again, don't you?
Where's she playing? What position? Okay, she's needed then. Time off.
We're just having a look, a wait here for Ayo Mimura. The second row is going to have to go off, I think.
Yeah, but
Makes
She
sense.
seems to have made the decision that she's off, doesn't she? She's struggling, certainly.
Presumably, Nakajima will come on. There she is, wearing 19. Big moment for her.
What a moment, what a first touch in a game.
time on. Scrum.
We're in the first half of this round 2 match, but this is a huge play just before half-time. The Irish scrum has to hold out, has to resist. The technique, this Japanese pack, the pick from Takano. Change of option, trying to surprise Ireland. Ball is down. Quick reorganisation. Quick presentation as well. Yamamoto sticking out, Miller stopping for the moment. But it's Shimizu who gets over. Second try is in the bag for Japan. And what is going on here? Japan have taken the host to task in this first half and now have a 2-try advantage.
Phenomenal rugby from Japan, brilliant play from them, really intelligent, moving the ball into the open spaces. Mayu Shimizu, an excellent finish in the end, wasn't it? She had to step inside the defender. So Japan know they haven't got the better of Ireland at this scrum. Ireland have shored that up. So first of all, they went for the blind side, then managed to recycle, and then this accurate handling we've been talking about all day, got the ball out into the hands of Shimizu, out wide, and she made no mistake. Brilliant from Japan, brilliant.
Well, we thought in the absence of Bogodrau Mainadave, the big Fijian number 8, that they would have to play in a different way, but I think that play from Maki Takano, her replacement, in that pivotal position actually caught Ireland by surprise. And the frenzied attack that followed on just didn't give the Irish defence a chance to realign. The conversion is good as she converts her own try, Mayu Shimizu. And look at that scoreboard, who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought it? Brilliant from Japan. Really important for Ireland that they don't panic. Still 40 minutes of this match left. The key thing they've got to sort out is the breakdown. At the moment, Japan are hitting such quick balls, such quick ball. It's impossible to defend when the ball is that quick.
I'm not sure whether Tom Tierney's on the phone to Joe Schmidt, but Tierney has got to change things round at half-time, big time. What is his message, do you think, going to be to this Irish team?
Well, it's tricky, isn't it? You've got players in the back row. Ashley Backstaff hardly ever played back row. She's playing 7 in this game. This is a game where you need your 7 to be in there, slowing down opposition ball, making it hard for them.
Forwards really now having to up the ante. Last minute of this first half. Ireland still to get themselves on the scoreboard. Plenty of time, of course, no worries on that score. But the execution just hasn't been there, and they have to settle themselves in. Maybe that's where the team talk comes in, where they have to just settle themselves down into this game. Stapleton thrown wide to Griffin. Stapleton staying strong in the contact. Into the red on the match clock. Last play. Oh, again, communication.
Accidental offside. Knock on red.
Just non-existent. Ashley Baxter was not expecting that. It's all over in that first 40 for Ireland, but Japan, well, they are grinning from ear to ear. A big penalty try came from their forward pack, and then they were able to add to it with that try from fullback Shimizu. The Japanese fans absolutely buoyant with a half-time scoreboard that reads Ireland 0, Japan 14. Welcome back to the UCD Bowl in Dublin, where the world of rugby has moved a little in that first 40 minutes. Whether it's going to stay that way, we shall find out over the course of this next second half, but you can see just how Japan have forced their way into this tournament and into this match. Those stats, I think, tell a very pertinent story, Sude.
They really do, because after 10 or 15 minutes, the possession stats were 66% to Ireland. Japan grew into the game, dominated the second half of that first half. And the quick ball is what's been making all of the difference for Japan.
So it looks like changes aplenty in both camps indeed, particularly in Japan. Moitsukui, the 17-year-old scrum half, is off, so she's been replaced by number 20, Yui Shiozaki.
Island. Thank you.
Shiozaki showed fairly well in that first game against France, it has to be said. But big changes in the Irish camp. The entire front row is changed. So Leah Lyons, Ruth O'Reilly, they're on into the mix. As Ireland have to sort things out. You can see 19 Paula Fitzpatrick on as well.
Put him on side, green, all hold
well
4, 17.
Larissa Muldoon. Just looking to say, actually no, it's not Larissa Muldoon. I wonder whether Nicole Cronin was going to turn out again. She has. So it's the forwards, as might have been expected, that have had to be adjusted in the break. Let's see whether that changes the tactics or flow of this game. Hannah Tyrrell. Tyrrell looks to me to be playing at fullback now, because I can see Louise Galvin wearing 23 on the right wing.
There's the ball.
Mairead Coyne didn't have the happiest of first halves of World Cup action, that's for sure. So the 2 7-stars will be in that three, along with Alison Miller.
Put him on side, winger, hold!
Stapleton.
18! Okay, all on. All on.
Sends it up and invites Japan to come back in. Now the first 5-10 minutes of this game will be absolutely critical to the psyche of the teams, let alone to the scoreboard.
Advantage high.
Fitzhenry just catching her opposition high, I think. There's another change as Aya Nakajima, we saw her at the end of the first half, on for Mimura in the Japanese second row, wearing 19.
It's come back for the high tackle. It was a problem for Ireland in the first half, a problem again in the second half, giving penalties away, Ireland, to Japan because of the high tackles.
TMO, check.
Ian Tempest just going to confer with David Krasov in the television truck.
Good to go.
At full speed first. This contact. As high as I think the contact was, doesn't look too threatening from that point of view.
It didn't look any more serious than any of the ones in the
Go ahead,
first
Ian.
half.
So number 13, it's obviously straight to the head.
Yeah.
It's obviously lacking force, but Ireland are giving away 3 penalties in the first half for high tackles.
I was going to say,
so I'm combining that as well, and 13's now going in the bin for me with a yellow card.
It's on the back of what was happening in those final 10-15 minutes of the first half, and Katie Fitzhenry is going to sit out the next 10 minutes of the second.
13, please.
It's not getting any easier for Ireland.
It's direct to the head, but obviously lacking force, but we had 3 high tackles in the first half, so that's a yellow card for me. Go.
Yeah, so she'll be feeling hard done by because it's no worse than any of the ones that went before, but she's taking one for the team there. That's 4 high tackles now. Huge advantage for Japan for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, perfect, what you want. 4. Ireland 4.
There's Fitzhenry
Keep
watching
going,
on.
Okay, that's fine. Find the middle. Find the middle.
It's a really big test for the inexperienced back 3 of Ireland now to cover the one back missing.
Same as the first half. Same as the first half. Ball transferred. Scrum.
Accidental call given by referee Tempest. Unusual for Japan because they are so efficient and effective in their in the detail in which they set up.
Indeed, the referee showing that he's being consistent, isn't he? There's all the replacements
Crouch
for Ireland.
Bind. Set.
So Paula Fitzpatrick in to the base of that scrum in a familiar number 8 role. Of course, played in the second row against Australia. Need her experience on now.
We've got you're the change of personnel
32 yesterday. Been there, seen it, done it.
Same ball.
Zona Sheegan
Crouch.
came on before the half-hour mark and now joined by the rest of the front row replacements at half-time. That's a better scrum from Ireland. Stapleton feeding out to Nopu. Need to see a little bit of threat from this Irish midfield to just cause some consternation in the Japanese camp. Charge down from Miller.
No.
Japanese forwards doing very well to respond.
Move, tackler.
Irish fans desperately trying to spur
Use
their team
it!
on.
Inside, inside.
Again the charge down. How many times have we seen charge down kicks? Eilish Egan trying to make some headway from it. Fitzpatrick muscling her way through. Spence scored a critical try in the second half against Australia, as did this lady Kira Griffin. My goodness me, Ireland need a score now.
Back. Release. Short.
Short of that white line. Griffin.
Come off.
Fitzpatrick just wondering about the proximity of the line. It's Miller cutting back. It's Miller time for Ireland. They've had to wait 45 minutes to break the bagel, but they're on board. Is this match a shifting?
I tell you what, Alison Miller is on a one-woman mission to make sure Ireland do not lose this game. She has been all over the pitch, rarely on the left wing. That time her first receiver calling to Nicole Cronin. It was this kick, it was her that charged the kick down in the first place. There she is. It's her that charged it down, and then she's waiting on the end of it. First receiver in the fly half slot.
Well, it was Miller, of course, who scored that critical try out in Marcoussis 3 years ago. How important could that score be to her team in 2017? An Ireland team, of course, a player down, don't forget. Stapleton with her first kick, but what a kick this is. Job done from Nora Stapleton. And the match barometer is shifting.
Don't underestimate the pressure that she was under there. You want to keep the momentum going. Finally a piece of good news for Ireland. Finally they've made their way over the whitewash. Then you want to see that gap going down to 7, not staying at 9, and that's exactly what Nora Stapleton managed for her team.
5 minutes to go still on that sin bin. Oh, that's an unforced error from Paula Fitzpatrick that Ireland really didn't need.
Knock on.
Japan now looking to spark their attack in this second half for the first time and try and make something of the gap that's in that Irish back line.
Yeah, so Ireland have had to push Ali Miller into 13, Hannah Tyrrell on the wing.
Coach.
Claire Malloy pulling out of the scrum.
Which is a big call, isn't it, given how dominant Japan were.
No pressure, please.
Interesting one. If you were Japan, you'd be thinking, should I do a little dink over the top here? There's nobody at home from Ireland. They've pulled McClare out, Malloy out, and they've got Miller and Tyrrell right up in the flat line. No one at home for the little chip.
Or a 23-metre driving scrum. they were so emphatic in that first half, but it's a different equation now in the second. Little chip through, Galvin coming back, Tyrrell coming back, and they're able to just dot that ball down.
Yeah, it was definitely on, but not well executed. That was far too long. It just needed to be a little
Make sure
dink
behind you,
over
all
into
in
the
front.
hands of the 12.
Behind, please.
Very well covered, though, by Hannah Tyrrell.
as big
They're
as
still all
that
in front.
score is for Ireland, and it is huge in the psyche
Thanks.
of this game, the next 3 minutes and 40-odd seconds is absolutely immense, because they cannot, from an Irish perspective, cannot let Japan get points on the board.
That, and to close out 10 minutes of sin bin time without being scored against is another psychological advantage.
And scoring a try as well within that 10-minute period. What a match we have got on here. We've seen some terrific rugby through Rugby World Cup 2017. We're seeing more here at the UCD Bowl this evening.
And this is exactly what we were saying at half-time. Ireland need to slow Japan down. They need to stop just giving them free ball at the breakdown. And there it is. Griffin gets in there, gets her hands on the ball.
But the tackler was Alison Miller. If there's any winger you want to change to a flanker, I would suggest it might be Alison Miller.
Might be that one.
What a game she's having.
5.
She is desperate to be involved in this game, and she's not going to let being stuck out on the wing stop her.
Well, the crowd making their voices heard now. The drums not beating right now. Nicole Cronin, though, with an unforced error. Penalty is going to follow because of all of her forwards were standing in front of her. Now, Cronin, just 24 years of age, and of course a very inexperienced scrum half, played a bit of sevens, came back from a soccer scholarship in the USA to play sevens. Had a lot of injuries over the last couple of years, and now getting her first chance in the 15s game.
Thanks, Rose.
Very, very inexperienced at 15. It's a lovely 9, but very inexperienced. It just goes forward there, and the error was picking out.
That's a good sack.
Larissa Muldoon is on the bench. A scrum half change, should it be required. Plenty more to come out of Nicole Cronin first, though. Quick ball presentation, so speedily moved through the hands. Numbers out on this left side. Shimizu finding no way through on that near side.
Not now, Green. Use it! Release, come off, it's tackle.
Now the Japanese forwards trying to just work their way up. Tsukui releasing the backs again. That's good defence from Ireland, though. Smothering the ball and getting the call from the referee as a consequence.
Isolated player, Green on feet.
Yeah, and that time it's the experience of Ailish Egan, I think, who was in there stealing that ball. This is exactly what Ireland needed to do. Exactly what they needed to do. Stop Japan playing this quick ball, stop Japan having free ball. And they're doing it so far in this half very well.
Well, whatever Tom Tierney said in his team talk at half-time,
Japan,
it seems to have had the required effect.
Time off. Yellow card back on.
Right, that is the end
that's fine.
of Katie Fitzhenry's absence.
That's fine.
Well, I say that, it isn't the end because she's off, and that lady, Jamie Deacon, is on in her stead. So changes, more changes in the Irish backline, and again the Irish lineup doesn't function properly, and again it allows Japan to flow their attack. Quick hands out to Hirano.
Release! Green off!
Into the Irish 22. The advantage is there.
Wait, no. Here. Come off.
Japan, as they did in the first half, just challenging Ireland so well by moving the ball into the open space so quickly.
Assist tackle is fully come off. Straight up, straight down. Hold the ball. Stop.
So a line out, attacking line out for Japan. Yet another big moment in this clash between the 5th seeds and the 14th seeds.
Use it, use
it's
it!
the team from lower down the table with the lead at the moment. Passing not exact enough, but I think that Japan have managed to snaffle that loose ball.
Use it!
Forwards not going too wide on this occasion. Sato, the captain, sets up yet another drive. Good defence from Deacon, up quickly. Now it's out, now there's danger for Ireland. Hirano stepping inside, desperate cover defence coming in from Fitzpatrick and Cronin. Japan a matter of 3 metres away from their 3rd score. Malloy sticking like a limpet to that ball, but it's still there for the opposition.
God,
Sakura 15s
back.
Are really working hard to try and make this territory count. Yamamoto throws out wide. Shimizu temporarily stopped.
Tackle, come off, come off!
With a little help from her friends, the ball is presented once again for Tsukui. There she is again, the 17-year-old scrum half. What an experience this must be. The forwards rumbling round the corner. Malloy has her hands on the ball. Japan need to get it to ground, they do. The forwards bashing into tired green bodies, but the Irish are stacking up around the fringe. Japan are going to have to move it wide.
That's fine, nothing there for me. Not on ball.
Tsukui again. Yamamoto. They run the ploy, but it was red there. I think that was Senina Opu. Great work from the Ireland inside centre.
Yeah, it's a great hit from Naopu, and Eilish Egan again showing her experience. The back row skills Naopu first with the hit. Look at that hit, and then Eilish Egan gets straight in there like any good 7 would, straight over the ball, trying to steal it, and has possession back for Ireland.
Japan.
There you see the effort that Ireland have had to put in defence. Is that going to take its toll over the final quarter of this game as we move towards the hour mark? What an atmosphere here in the UCD Bowl. It really is buzzing.
Option.
And still Ireland putting pressure on themselves. The last line out in this spot was a kick forward and then picked up offside, giving Japan a penalty. This time, not straight.
Well, the crowd here in the UCD Bowl
straight up,
just cannot believe what they're seeing in front of them. Make sure we know what you're thinking. All the action, all the information is, of course, on all the W's, rwcwomen's.com.
Four guys.
But on social media, use the hashtag WRWC2017 or the hashtag BringIt. Have your say in the conversation. This is quite remarkable as Claire Malloy picks up the ricochet to allow Ireland to manufacture their exit, but it's going to come back.
Vantage over.
Shimizu, try scorer in that first half. You see the precision with which Japan operate. It's a rarity for a loose pass or a handling error. Thank you very much.
Commentator's curse.
I shall leave now. Well, here's an opportunity for Fitzpatrick to get Ireland back onto the front foot. Stapleton knows where she needs her team to be. That's going to head that way, maybe not as far as she might have liked.
No, indeed, she wanted that to bounce the other way in front of Ali Miller, who's brilliant at chasing those kicks.
Yours, please,
but
Green.
for Ireland, it's rugby in the right half of the pitch.
How many? 5? 5.
Shortened line-out call from Japan. Have a look at those stats.
That just shows it all, doesn't it? Japan with all the pressure since Ireland scored that try, but significantly no score from all that pressure.
We form the line out, the ball must come in once the line out is formed. Again, in the line out. Next one, free kick.
Ian
in the line.
Tempest asking for a replay of that line out. Saito goes at the front. I'm not sure that it went 5, did it?
Not 5.
Yeah, the
not 5 metres.
Officials just conferring.
Japan falling into the same trap as Ireland, putting the pressure all on themselves at the line out. No need for those sort of errors.
Cronin invites Leah Lyons to rumble away up the set position. Spence. Stapleton. Oh, great line from Seninaopu.
Advantage, knock on only. Knock on,
that was
advantage.
A delicious line from the inside centre to open up that Japanese defence.
Scrum, guys.
Fitzpatrick creeps away over the 22. O'Reilly. The home fans finding their voice now. Japan, a player down in back play. The forwards rolling up their sleeves metaphorically and showing their muscles now. Cronin. Stapleton goes to the short side, but
knock on, offside.
Can't take the ball cleanly, and as a consequence there's an offside call.
Okay, that's fine. Knock on, offside.
Tough one for Nicole Cronin. You can't help but want to react and pick the ball up, but the ball went forward off Stapleton, and so that's offside. You wonder whether Ireland would have been better there, just keeping it in tight. They were making ground, rumbling the ball up the pitch.
Change. Number 9. That number 9?
That was the line, wasn't it? The brilliant in and out from Seninaopu.
Okay, send the replacement number 9. Change.
Oh, it's agony watching your team, isn't it, sometimes?
It really is. You can see them starting to get a bit of momentum, starting to get over the gain line, but it's the errors that are killing Ireland.
Water, please. Water off, please.
An hour gone. There's one try difference between the teams.
Time on, Alan. Knock on.
And it's the 14th seeded team who have their noses in front. Yumena Noda on scrum half for Japan. Having seen that line from the Harlequin centre, Seninaopu, you just wonder why she's not involved in attacking play more than we've seen her, because she has such a threat, such a line. She's playing more in an outside centre type of position right now, but
good competition, yeah.
Haven't really seen her in attack.
They've had so little ball, Ireland, haven't they, since the beginning of the match to really attack Japan with.
Tackle, release.
Into the final quarter of this game. Good clearance from Yamamoto, Hannah Tyrrell. Such a mazy runner with her Gaelic football background, of course. Deacon.
Backwards, play on.
And Miller again having to pick up the scraps, hacks it forward. And Japan immediately trying to get width on the ball with Tsutsumi. Good tackle from Galvin. And Louise Galvin doing the job for her team. Claire Malloy finishing things off.
It was an excellent tackle from Louise Galvin. Japan had numbers outside of her, but she committed to the tackle and made a very, very good tackle. And then Claire Malloy in behind her to back it up and steal the ball.
That's a good kick from Nora Stapleton, but this was...
One Japan, one.
Well, this was Ali Miller trying to rescue things on the other flank. When it came back, here was the big hit from Galvin.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it was an excellent hit. I memean, Claire Malloy doing what we've said Ireland need to be doing all game, competing at the breakdown, stealing the ball back.
Lions. Spence, the safe option at the front. The forwards congregate around Fitzpatrick, takes control at the base of the driving maul. Japan helpless to stop this Irish driving maul, who are going to get the second try. Paula Fitzpatrick, super sub. Last time it was Spence and Griffin, this time it's Fitzpatrick. The bench making an impact for Ireland in this tournament.
Once they started to get momentum, you thought the only thing stopping them scoring the try was almost it was moving too quickly, that driving maul. Could they keep control of it? But keep control of it they did. Paula Fitzpatrick made her way to the back. She's got her hands on the ball. Nicole Cronin behind her, shouting instruction. And then over the line she goes. The Irish ecstatic.
What a change. This is a pressure kick for Nora Stapleton. The Gaelic footballer has to find her kicking radar with this one. And she's done it. The scores are tied up. We have just over a quarter of an hour left of this match. Who is going to step up? Who is going to get their noses over the finishing line first?
That is an excellent kick under pressure from Nora Stapleton. A home World Cup behind against a team seeded way behind you. You need those 2 points to draw even. Brilliant.
Backwards, and then off the full.
Again, Paula Fitzpatrick almost making an unforced error there, but thankfully for her and Ireland,
she's on her way down. No foul play there for me.
Secures and sets the possession for the forwards.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks, mate.
What a difference the Irish bench has made.
Put him onside. Forwards all hold. Forward.
Bouncing ball. Quarter of an hour left. Nothing between these two.
And it just feels like the breaks are going Ireland's way, doesn't it? That should have been a pretty simple catch back there for Suzuki to set things up for Japan. Instead,
how many?
It's
Four
possession
receiver 2 meters,
for Japan, but way back into their own half.
You want to see rugby passion? You look at that picture of the Irish fans.
Maul.
Having been so despondent at half-time, their team have turned things round in their second half, but there is still a final play or two of this game. Your mind is drawn to that France game for Japan when France won 72-14, wondering where the Japanese team were on 4 days ago, because the performance they produced today, particularly in the first half, has been quite superb.
Stop.
Yamamoto with the kick, Hannah Tyrrell with the opportunity to open things up. Good work from the 7-star, not releasing the ball in a dangerous area. Sarah Spence has lost it. Sophie Spence unable to keep hold of the pill, and now Japan inside Ireland's half, looking to get width on their attack straight away. Shimizu.
No advantage. Knock on. Sorry, Rose. Always under pressure going backwards.
There's a knock-on from Sophie Spence that's given Japan possession, and here it comes in the tackle. It was really good work in the contact area for Japan that freed the ball up. Such a big 13 minutes for these two teams, 14 all, 13 minutes to go. How much possession Japan have had. You'd never have called that before this game started.
Well, that's credit to the Irish. Of course, 10 minutes of that was with a player down, and that was the 10 minutes in which they got their first try from Alison Miller. The Irish scrum really beginning to get an amount of pressure on their Japanese counterparts. Noda into that midfield for Nagata. Good call from Shiozaki. Half-time replacement for Takano, the number 8. Saito, the captain. You can see the Japanese just scanning the options, seeing what's out there in front of them.
She's on there, falling again, no foul play.
Well, another turnover goes to the Irish, and it's Leah Lyons this time. She thought she was being penalised, I think, when the whistle went. Now she can smile.
Yeah, she wasn't happy at all initially, but it's the replacements from Ireland that have made the difference in the breakdown. Ailish Egan, Leah Lyons. Such a difference from the first half, and they were just giving Japan free ball.
The Munster hooker really making an impact since she's appeared on the pitch. There's Niamh Briggs at the back. Just behind Bill Beaumont. They've seen some big games, they've played in some big games, those two. This will rank up there with the very best.
Small, it's in 5.
How tough for Niamh Briggs watching this game, and you can do nothing.
Again, it's Paula Fitzpatrick driving things on. Spence.
Broken away, broken away.
Spence goes. Sophie Spence. Ireland wanting quick ball, but it's slow. And Japan trying to work their defensive lines. Griffin.
Ball's available.
See the difference in presentation between the two teams. Ireland unable to really build the headway from phase after phase, but these forwards are doing a great job now. This crowd urging their team forward. Another half metre or so. Spence. Malloy. There's no way they want to release that ball. Ailish Egan. Pick and drive and pick and drive. It's attritional stuff, but it's working. Now Cronin puts it out. Stapleton on the cut pass to Nopu. This time she finds no way through. The door closed very firmly in her face. Japan getting through their tackles as well now. The century comes up in that particular stat. Desperately trying to hold off this Irish surge. Fitzpatrick. Out it goes to Egan. Cronin digging that ball out for her team to go again. This time Naopo is repelled. Turnover ball, illegally so. Sui thought she had chance to put hands on the ball.
Playing the ball on the floor, number 6.
Now, what is the call here?
6.
Whoa, do you go for posts?
Surely, posts here.
Nora Stapleton takes the responsibility and says, I can put this over, I can do it. The 34-year-old with so much experience, part of the 2014 team, of course. Now Tom Tierney is hoping that his fly half can press his team into the front for the first time.
What a moment this is for Nora Stapleton, taking the responsibility on her shoulders for the team.
posts, and for the first time after 72 minutes, Ireland have their noses in front.
Thank you.
She really kept her nerve, Nora Stapleton, didn't she? Brilliant from her there. She's straight through the middle of the posts. Really stood up when her team needed her to.
Well, here we go. 7 minutes left. Ireland have come from 14-0 down at half-time with 17 unanswered points in their second half. Can they hold on now?
Put them onside. Wait, Green, wait. Okay,
Stapleton sends her team away from the danger area. Shimizu, try scorer in that first half. Trying to get a team back up into the red zone.
Put them onside. Green, hold.
Again, the boot of Stapleton sends them backwards.
No quick line out, ball's been touched.
Oh boy, the nerves just can't take it right now.
Time off. Injury.
Such a big 6 minutes of rugby here in the UCD Bowl, isn't there?
Okay.
Well, come and watch a game of rugby, they said. It'll be fun. Just look at the faces in the stands. Yeah, you said it, sir. It's a long way to come, especially when you thought your team were going to get their first win in the Women's Rugby World Cup in 15 years.
Neither set of supporters is very happy right now, are they? Japan have been in the lead and just feel it possibly slipping away. Ireland, the tension here in the home World Cup being this close.
Send her on. How many?
Goodness me, it's not an easy job being a spectator.
Straight in, 5. Time on!
Kataoka on in place of Suzuki, but the line-out throw not going to plan.
Option. Score line.
I have to say, plaudits to Ian Tempest, because I think he's had a quite superb game on the whistle. Not always been the easiest of calls, but he has really made sure the game has flowed. He's set the parameters in which the players can work, and they've understood it and gone with it.
And been very, very clear in his communications with players, so they understand exactly where they stand and why.
Spence with the safe take in the number 2 role. Paula Fitzpatrick, what a difference she's made. The clock ticks into the final 5 minutes of a quite extraordinary match. Is there another trick of the tail? An unfortunate rebound for Tatsumi off her shoulder. Okay, it is time for the Aon player of the match. Perm 1 from Plenty, but it's your call, Sudo.
It's a tricky call, isn't it? There's a few players who stood out on both sides. Claire Malloy as captain of Ireland, the big Irish ball carriers in the second half. Sukui and Shimizu for Japan, but for me, she hasn't necessarily had her best all-round game at fly half, actually by a long way for Ireland, but Nora Stapleton has stood up when it counted for Ireland. Each of those conversions from the tries, that penalty she just took, at the moment it's looking like that is what's going to be the difference for Ireland in this game. The kicks, the coolness under pressure when her team needed it from Nora Stapleton in this game has been outstanding.
Nora Stapleton deservedly getting the Aon Player of the Match
Multiple
award.
players, both teams on the floor. Scrum.
What a match it has been.
Japan 11 change.
Pool C still has France against Australia to come, and who knows how that's going to affect the table equation going into the final round robin stages on Thursday. Changes in the back 3 for the Japanese. Nicole Cronin done well in her first full 80 minutes in 15s rugby.
Crouch!
Called up over Mary Healy into the squad, somewhat surprisingly for some people. She's been a real buzzball when she's had the opportunity and when she's had the forward pack, particularly in the second half. Stapleton trying to put Deacon through a gap. Ireland really re-energised in this second half. Can they just put some security on the scoreboard in these final 3.5 minutes?
God, 6!
The forwards buzzing around the ball. Japan desperately trying to get some sort of turnover scenario, but I think Ireland are too big and too wily to allow that opportunity to occur. They'll be happy that the clock they know is ticking down. Leah Lyons sets it back once again. Again, Sophie Spence, former player of the year, of course. Claire Malloy, the new Irish captain. How has she led from the front?
Tackle release!
Cronin out to Stapleton, looking for Miller. Miller looking for a second. Good tackle from Hirano. The forwards rumbling through. Is this going to be glory time for one of the heavyweights up front? They've done a lot of the hard work around the fringe to set things up. Griffin.
Thank you.
Well, Egan repelled, but the ball's still there for Ireland. Again, Sophie Spence with a little help from her friends.
God, step 6. 6.
Lions. Defiant defence from Japan. They know they have to get their hands on the ball. It's not going to happen now though. Seninopu makes sure that it's still there for her team. Ball presentation absolutely critical now. 90 seconds left. Griffin. Cronin gets the call from Egan and O'Reilly and co. Those forwards really have their dander up now.
Behind the line! Take
Look
a step.
at the phase count. Just look at it. It is sapping watching it. What it must be like playing now, both in defence and attack. They go again with Fitzpatrick. Malloy. Still there for the home side. Stapleton gets a call from Miller. Into the final 30 seconds. Ireland can stay here for all they like.
Use it!
As long as they don't allow Japan the ball.
Keep going, keep going.
Desperate defence now from the Japanese.
Use it!
As their host just wind the clock down. Malloy setting the focus for her forwards again. Fitzpatrick going for a double. Fitzpatrick's got it. Paula Fitzpatrick with her second try confirms the win for her team. Super sub Fitzpatrick makes the game for Ireland. Job finally is done.
Heartbreak for Japan, but absolute joy, absolute ecstasy for Ireland and for these Irish fans here. But finally that ball touches down over the line. Paula Fitzpatrick, she's made a huge difference since she's come on, as have the big ball carrying Irish forwards. They've made the difference, and a last chance for Nora Stapleton to top things off. You have to feel for Japan, Simon, don't you? They gave it absolutely everything, and goodness me, Ireland have made their supporters sweat in this game.
Because they've just lost their losing bonus point as well, of course. It's, yeah, you do feel for those Japanese as Nora Stapleton adds the coup de grace. Oh, in off, still went over, what does it matter? Relief all round for Ireland. The bench making the difference for the home fans, turning this game around. Nora Stapleton discovers her inner O'Gara, and Ireland managed to get themselves over the line, and their World Cup campaign is still alive and kicking. Just what a match we've seen. A big crowd here at the UCD, relieved the majority of them, because Ireland victorious. What a game. 24-14. The Irish have won, but credit must go to Japan. A huge match in this World Cup.
Well, Claire, 14-0 down at half-time. What on earth did Tom Tierney say to you?
Full respect to the Japanese. They threw us everything at us in the first half. Their passing game was excellent, and they really threatened us, and they got the results. They won the first half. So we had to come out. It was a new game in the second half, and we came out and we were resilient yet again and got the result.
You got the yellow card in the second half, but how much of a psychological advantage did it give you? You scored and you didn't concede any points.
I think it's just the resilience and grit we've shown throughout the game on Wednesday. It really came through, and there was a whole squad effort. Again, our bench featured heavily. Paul Fitzpatrick was outstanding, and the girls really made an impact. So I think it just kind of galvanised us. Unfortunately, backs against the wall situation again, but we got the results, and that's what counts.
You mentioned the bench, the strength of the bench there. Again, they played such a big part. Paula Fitzpatrick, what a performance from her.
I know she was outstanding at 8. She really made a huge difference. Her carries, her breaks really got us into the game, and that's what we're looking for from our bench, to really make that impact when they come on. So delighted with her.
Well, that's the second match you've come back from behind. For the next one, what's the aim?
I think there's a lot to work on. We'll be unhappy with our handling areas and our breakdown again, so we need to fix that and really build some momentum going into the French match now.
Well, very well done today.
Thank you very much.